Hi, I'm Kurt from Armour, and welcome to Workshop Wednesday.
No, Friday. You know what? Just forget it. Thanks for your patience on this one. After many, many years, we are finally putting this StuG together for the very last time.
What have you done so far since we last left off, Bo?
So we've just been making sure that we've got all of the fasteners in for the superstructure to attach to the hull. We've also attached the front plate, and we've just tacked it in place just with some large stitches, just to keep its strength up front, just for when we go to test drive it, and then later on we will fully weld it. Well, the front plate's in, superstructure's in, the engine deck's in, meaning they're all bolted down firm. I went around with sealant, made sure that I put sealant between where the hull and the superstructure and engine deck and all of that meet. I assume that they would have had some sort of a sealant in there, but it probably would have been some type of rubber or foam, or maybe even felt. Now it's basically time to start fitting out the interior with interior detail.
What are we going to start with?
We have to first off put one of the mud guards on one side, just because the bolts that bolt the mud guard on sit behind an ammunition storage box, and if we put the ammunition box in now, we won't get access to the back of the bolts.
These panels and brackets are the only original parts we have for the mud guards. Bo had to make the rest of them from scratch, but we'll fit them a little bit later on.
Because the mud guards are original, it's not exactly straight.
Right.
And there's a hole through it, both of them that need to line up exactly.
Yep. Got him.
Yeah.
So these are the bolts that are tricky to get to if you've got the ammo box in.
Yeah. Just the two bottom ones, because the ammo box is inside, about level with the bolts.
Yep.
I'll just tighten this up how it is.
That seemed to fall in all right.
Yeah, it looks good there. Originally these were all castellated nuts with split pins. Imagine putting a castellated nut on there and then having to put a split pin in it.
Yeah, bugger that.
Not happening.
Ugh, it's tricky.
I should have done this one first. The bolt's too long, it's hit the back of the mud guard.
There you go.
Now the internal ammo box can go in.
I think we might put the radios in and then the MP40s. So
And then crew heating?
Crew heating pipe as well. Actually,
We'll do that first.
let's do the crew heating pipe first.
Yep, that's where it goes.
So this is the crew heating pipe. The air comes from the engine bay. I assume they would have had a fan set up on this here, which pulled the air in. You could close the heating off altogether by closing the door, or open it up and allow the heat to come through. It's going to be interesting. Very nice. I've got one here with a hole for a 14mm bolt, and this one here for a 6mm bolt. And I've put all this in the exact spot where it actually was originally.
Yeah, you had like tap blocks to work with.
Yeah. I just replaced them because they were just about falling off. Now this is it here, where this one here attaches to. And then that one down further goes on this one, which we'll need to be able to take out. Sorry, I'm going to get in your way.
No, you're right.
Pretty good. All these things that took all this time take 5 minutes to put in.
Time for some fun stuff.
These are replicas from Denix, hey?
Yes, these are not real guns, so don't stress out.
They look real, hey?
They've done a good job.
Yeah.
They're not the best ones out, but they're very good. They'll do the job for us. You know, the amount of people that are actually going to see inside this thing, as long as they look the part and they haven't got little orange caps on the end, I'm happy. So this is the MP40 mount, which attaches to, well, attaches between the gun and the ammunition storage. And this was for the loader. A lot easier to use than a MG34, especially at close range. So this was his personal gun. He could just grab from the front and use it if he needed to.
Yeah, if they needed to bail out or whatever.
Yeah, or they had someone crazy trying to get in. We laugh at it now, but it's pretty damn scary at the time if you needed to use it.
Absolutely.
I'd only ever seen photos of it, never seen the actual thing before, until Daryl and Jess recently started pulling the Wesp apart, and inside the Wesp were two of these. Pretty much perfect condition apart from the timber. The timber was all rotten. So thankfully I could copy theirs, and I copied it exactly how it would have been. And I actually got theirs and just put it straight on there, and the hole centers and everything were perfect.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah,
the original hole centers.
Yeah, it's just a mass-produced part that would have fit any vehicle. I took the strap off because I thought, mounted inside a vehicle, they probably wouldn't have had a strap attached to them.
You don't reckon?
I don't think so. I think the strap would have probably been taken off and put in a storage box along with all the rest of the gun parts that they removed, like the perforated jacket and all that sort of thing. Yeah, but I don't know if they did that in these particular tanks. They sort of just did them for Panzer IVs and that sort of thing with the ball mount.
The next MP40, the Commanders?
Yeah, so this would have been shared. I suppose Commander would have got right away to this gun. But if something went wrong with him, then yeah, it would have been the gunner's personal weapon. So, and this was located on the back of the firewall here of the vehicle. Same again, don't know if the strap was supposed to be there or not, but we've got them on there and we're just leaving them on there for now. And I've got to try and remember where it went. Alright.
Look at that. Nice. Looks good.
Goes around there. Yeah, I don't think they ever stored them with the magazine in the gun. Probably for safety reasons.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if that's shot there, then yeah, you
Trouble.
never know where it hit. So pretty sure they did have some sort of magazine storage on the back of the superstructure firewall.
Yeah,
around
okay.
this area here somewhere, but I couldn't find any weld here for that. Inside this this bar on the back here is all the electrical. So it's to tidy the electrics up. And I'm pretty sure the electrics came up the back here. There was a welded block here for one. And they had kind of like a junction box or some sort of electrical box on the back here, which sent power up to the fan, which extracted the fumes when the gun was firing.
What's next?
We're going to put the electrical boxes in, and then the radios can go in as well.
Whoa. What is that?
Power supply for the radio.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I don't know. We'll just leave that. But it's all original. It's all there. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to bolt this part in, which actually locks this power supply in place. Then this one here attaches to the side of the superstructure. And this one here gets locked into place by these wing nuts.
And then we have the radios.
The radios sit above this one here. So that's why it's important to get this one with its mount in place first. So let's do that. So these flat bars are where this mounts to. I'm putting a little bit of Loctite on these because there's no sort of locking washers or any tabs with these tapered bolts. So I just want to make sure that they don't rattle loose, especially being on the side of the hull here where it's high vibration. I'll put the lid on this. Get that out of the way. Put this in. Leave it down the edge where it's nice and safe. The reason it looks the way it does is because it's in original paint, and I wanted to keep it in its original paint even though it does look a bit shabby.
I think people would appreciate that.
I think so too, especially with such a rare component like this. Whoa.
Just a little bit.
Yep.
Overhead press.
That'll be right there, eh?
I got it.
Got it?
The enemy is listening.
Yeah. Oh, my legs are cramping up. All right. These are not light.
Looks good.
Put that on there. This one. That one. Just do them up now. Where the spanners are now. Lost them again.
Oh yeah.
There's some. I don't know if they're the right ones though. Thank you. That looks about right. Plug that one in there. Oh, could you hear that?
No.
Oh, there's a bit of space under there. Keep the wires neat and tidy.
Look at that, eh? Nice.
Yeah. It looks apart, doesn't it? It is apart.
It's the real deal.
They were made with rubber mounts to allow for vibration, so that I suppose it doesn't crack wires and that sort of thing.
Yeah, to be finely tuned in there, all the different bits. What now? Gun.
Yep, let me think about it first. Our machine guns are in, radios are in, power source boxes are in. Yep, next thing is the gun. don't stand under it, you'll be right. Alright, slow down. A bit more. Yeah. Just leave it there for a minute.
Nearly in.
Well, that side can't go anywhere. They've got to be done up more.
Yeah.
We need a spanner. I'll just tell you what size it is. I forgot to put spring washers in. So we're going to put them in now, before we forget again.
Beautiful.
As that gap closes, it tightens.
We started the next day with locking the gun into its cradle before moving on to the mudguards.
You've got to put the travel lock on inside, so that way the gun can't move at all.
Isn't it spring loaded?
Yeah. Just stuck a bit.
Give it a tap. Melee attack with the MP40.
Got some paint on it.
Oh, this is all original.
Yeah, this whole thing.
It's just seized up again.
Yeah, it's just. Oh man, I shouldn't have painted it. That's the issue.
Hey, we don't have a elevation or traverse, do we?
No, we don't have elevation or traverse, so that's why this is a very important thing for us to put in place. So unsatisfying. I had this thing clicking in and out the other day.
Oh, man.
The gun needs to go up a fraction.
There it will stay.
That's it, that's locked in place.
So what's next?
Mudguards. Next. Finish the mudguards off. Oh, no they're not.
What?
What's next? We're putting the divider across the top of the gun.
Oh, right. Okay.
And
Yep.
then the mudguards after that. Oh man. Oh no, my fingers.
Oh.
I'm right. I'm good. I'm good. I've done this about 6 times.
By yourself?
Yeah, by myself. Yeah, it's just I usually put my foot where yours is.
Oh, okay.
I've
Yeah.
done this 6 times, but not filmed.
Do you want to swap?
I've got to put both legs over here. You might have to film through my legs. Once that's there. Somewhere. There. So you take this divider bar out, then the gun can slip through here. And it's also actually a vital part of the roof structure.
Now we can do the mudguards. Ah, just kidding. Gotcha.
pushing the bolt in. Both of them.
Hang on.
I've got it. I've actually got it. I've pulled it out.
Joking. I'll get the other one for you.
Yeah, that's the way. Look at that.
Got him.
Just wipe it down quickly.
Like I said earlier, apart from the 2 front panels, Bo had to hand make all of the other mudguard components. This took a lot of careful research, but I think you'll agree he's done a magnificent job.
Slightly out, not by much, but just enough to cause a little bit of an issue with the alignment. Look at that. This one goes here.
So this is like a mudguard support thing.
Yeah. I suppose it's to strengthen the bottom of the mudguard. Originally castellated nuts.
Oh, you want to put castellated nuts on?
No, I don't. This one's also got its own gusset here as well. Same thing. We didn't have an original one, but I just copied these from the one in Fort Benning. Spent a lot of time making all this stuff. Need a slightly longer bolt. Taper towards the back. Look, there's an easy way to do it. I think I was lifting this from underneath at one point. It's good so far, so good. Except for this one. Just got to undo that.
That's it. Was it a separate piece like that?
Yeah, there was something very similar to this originally in here. Yeah, it just tidies the corner up. I have to remove that.
The light?
Yep.
Ah.
How's that for precision, hey? It looks good. Perfect size for it, look at that. It's like it was made for it.
This is an original light that Steve has rewired, and I believe he's replaced the bulb with an LED. Fun fact, the mount is made of Bakelite, and when we took the green cover off, it was really smelly.
Other side.
Yep, other side now. Nice.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright, just got me. Just gonna leave it loose for now until we get the bolts into it. That'll do for now.
There are hundreds of nuts and bolts on the mudguards, and they all have to be trimmed back on the underside, but Bo can do this off camera a bit later on. Sorry you have to miss out on that.
That one. Alright. This is the original flat bar that's used underneath the mudguard, and this is the actual one from this vehicle, and I've kept it all this time instead of scrapping it just in case I needed it.
You could have straightened that.
No, yeah, I probably could have, but it's not worth it. So we made new ones, but it's been a really good piece to copy off of. So basically this part goes up underneath, just like you saw me doing with the new made ones, and it's important because you can see they've welded two bits together here. This would have been longer like the one we've got, but it's rusted away to nothing, to a sharp point at the front. But this part here actually, this is for the other side, so it would be like this. This part supports this little finishing off piece here. So this little piece of dimple plate sort of has nothing to connect to underneath except for these two bolts. So by putting this extra bit of flat bar underneath, it stops stuff from coming up between the two plates, and it also gives something for this dimple plate to rest on.
Now let's get the roof on.
It's so close.
Let's have one final look at the inside from the top down.
Seriously, so cool. I don't think any of our other restorations have like an interior like this.
There's some. We've got some like the Panther, which is really good, but none that we've done. Not to this sort of level. So this is very special.
It's fine. Pretty big moment. Last time.
Yeah.
We've got to get this strap out though.
Last time we used this strap too.
Yeah, definitely. See ya.
Really good. Now we just got to put the podgy bar in the holes line the roof up with the bolt holes, bolt everything down, and then we're going to put the cupola in. The doors up the front, I call them doors. They're a part of the roof and they're a part of the gun sight mechanism. So we're going to put them in, lock everything up, and then I think we're going to put the remote control machine gun shield in place. Alright, the next part, where do we go from here?
Now we assumed it would be an easy job just to slip the bolts in and do them up. We assumed it would all line up perfectly, but this job nearly took all day.
This one or this one?
Yep.
When I pull this back tight, then you can start one. Other one?
Back a bit. No. It's kind of got to go that way. Yeah. Go again. Maybe put in each of these. It's really close to that one.
Okay. What I'm doing is programming threads off these.
No.
Okay, so maybe not as close as I thought. Actually, it's way out. The reason nothing is lining up is because when Bo welded all of the panels together, everything buckled and twisted.
Is it moving at all when I do that?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get it in like that. Just kidding. Oh shit, it's stuck. There we go.
He's had the roof on previously, but we forgot that it was actually a real struggle then too.
Good enough.
We actually had to heat it up with the blowtorch in the middle, weigh it down, and then that splayed it out enough for us to get the bolts in. We assumed that once it cooled when it was bolted down, it would hold its new shape. However, it has actually retained the memory of the previous misaligned shape. We couldn't use the blowtorch method again as it would ruin the new internal paint job, so we just struggled for hours with podgy bars, a tap, and some hardened drill bits. With a few minutes left in the day, Bo fits a few final pieces.
This thing's heavy. Holy. So these are all original studs and nuts on here. And you can see the little identification marks where they've punched a centering punch into it just to lock the nut in place once they've tightened them up. So these never had any sort of washers or...
Oh, it just burrs over the thread.
It just burrs the thread on the end and stops them undoing.
Did you... Does it have to be lifted up like that?
It just needs to be lifted slightly because of this weld. There's a weld down the bottom here.
Yep.
And there's a taper on the back of this plate so it doesn't foul on the weld. And if you've got it down too far, then it still hits the weld. So just the plate needs to be lifted enough to clear the weld basically. And then you can do the bolts up. Tighten those up, eh?
Oh, that's for the goggles to poke out, hey?
Yeah, goggles.
That telescope, that wacky twin-eyed telescope thing.
Oh yeah, periscope.
Periscope, there you go. That's the...
Periscopes.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? What was that?
That's how much tension the roof's under.
Plenty of room.
if you're really short, there would be.
Man, looks warm next to that heating pipe.
Yeah, I think these naturally were really close to these pipes.
Nice.
Sit on, see.
Oh yeah? Beautiful.
Yep, that's a good spot for me. Up one for someone shorter, and they'd be able to look out of their
Periscope.
periscopes.
Oh man. Try getting in that one. Look how the commander's sitting.
Yeah, right behind him. Yeah. He would have been sitting here like this. While this guy in front here was right there between his legs.
Like, how would the commander use his radios and, like, you know, follow maps and, like, get all his
I
stuff?
suppose this is enough room, really. And the gunner could obviously sit forward on the seat. He wouldn't be laying back on top of the commander the whole time.
No slacking off.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. Wow. So the gunner does have a bit of room to sort of move forward and sit down on the floor if he needs, maybe to give the commander a bit more room.
Yeah, but we're missing all the equipment here to elevate and traverse the gun and the sight.
You're right. Yeah, with all that,
Yeah, that comes out like that. This is the traverse mechanism.
There's a box there,
Full on.
and then there's all these mechanisms on the side of this arm.
All right, one more thing.
What's that?
The roof. Do we have time?
Yeah.
All right.
Always got time. Yeah, that's it. Position, and this little flat bar bent up tab here goes in underneath this flat bar here. So it slips in like that. You sit down, and then you turn the locking tabs in place, and then when the slide's in, none of this can come out. We don't have a gun sight, so just so it looks the part for now, just make it look like it until we find an original gun sight so we can attach it to the vehicle. This is one of my favourite things I've ever created here, or in general. And I had a pretty good template to copy off of, because we've got one in the museum, but the StuG and the Hetzer is the one I copied off. The Hetzer one is slightly different to the StuG. The shield shape's different, and luckily the rest of the mechanism's all the same, but I copied some photos that I found online and got it pretty much exactly the same as what I think they were originally. Now originally they would have had a mechanism inside with handles, so you could turn the machine gun and like a trigger, just like on a gun, which had a wire rope inside the sheath running up to a trigger on top, which actually manually pulled the trigger on the gun, and that's how they fired it. And it was only good for as many rounds as the magazine had in it. So you'd shoot all the rounds and then you had to stick your head out and reload the gun. So it was a good design, but it had its flaws at the same time.
Once again, thank you so much for your patience on this one. I really wanted this episode to have some kind of epic conclusion with everything assembled, but that's all we have time for today. If you think Bo earned it, be sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and share it with all your friends. But join us next Wednesday, and there will be an episode next Wednesday, for your weekly tank restoration fix. So until then, I'm Kurt from Armour, and have a great weekend.